Cystic fibrosis by Dariana L. Garza. What is cystic fibrosis? Cystic fibrosis is a genetic disease that implements extra mucus in the lungs, later on leading to cause failure. This disease captures bacteria, infections, and blocks the air passageways, which makes it very difficult for people with this disease to breathe. Symptoms include coughing, wheezing, salty skin, the inability to breathe, digestive problems, constant lung infections, and lots of mucus. Symptoms may be severe depending on the person's age or how chronic it is. Cystic fibrosis can start to show in infancy, but in most cases appears right after puberty. This disease can get worse within time, but is also genetic. Therefore, it's not curable, but very well treated. Treatments on cystic fibrosis differ on how severe the disease is. For starters, doctors will suggest an early screening on a newborn child. If the person already has it, antibiotics will be given in order to kill the bacteria. Common antibiotics include tobramycin and azithromycin. Prevention treatment. Pneumococcal vaccines are recommended from doctors for people with cystic fibrosis. People with this disease have very weak immune systems, therefore preventing bacteria from entering the body is a must. Postural drainage, known as chest physical therapy, also helps detach the mucus from the lungs in order to cough it all out. It helps with the ability to breathe. Is it curable? Unfortunately, no. Cystic fibrosis is not curable since it is a genetic disease, but treating it, however, can help live a healthier life. The biology behind cystic fibrosis. Our bodies contain genetic cells that give out information to produce proteins. This helps obtain how our body will look, develop, and function. The human body consists of 23 chromosomes. Every pair is made of one copy consisting of the mother and of the father. It is also a recessive gene, therefore both copies need it. Cystic fibrosis generates by different mutations in the CFTR gene on chromosomes. The CFTR acts as a passageway crossing into the membrane. This makes saliva and enzymes, etc. Our body normally transports chloride ions into the cells that help control the water in tissues. This helps our lungs to have a free airway to breathe. People with cystic fibrosis, however, are missing one amino acid in the protein channel, which causes to get thick and sticky mucus produced in the lungs. When was it discovered? In 1963, a panel of experts commissioned by the USCF Foundation wrote a guide for diagnosing and managing cystic fibrosis. At the time, sweat testing had become the primary method used to diagnose the disorder. Excessive salt in the skin can indicate the presence of the disease, and this test is still commonly used today. Life expectancy. There are more than 1,000 people suffering from this disease every year. However, it isn't a blockade to having sexual relationships with one another. Men with this disease are infertile, meaning they aren't able to have children, and women can't conceive. Although the average life expectancy here in the U.S. ranges from 37.5 years to 40 years, researchers have discovered more and more treatments to better the cause of cystic fibrosis. How they live. Patients with cystic fibrosis go through phases of depression and physical symptoms. There are many ways a person can cope with this disease. One of them is in support groups. Now that our technology has advanced in many places around the world, there is very different methods to help those in need. Hundreds of organizations around the world have how they live. Patients with cystic fibrosis go through phases of depression and physical symptoms. There is many ways a patient can cope with this disease. One of them is support groups. Now that our technology has advanced in many places around the world, there are different methods used to help those in need. Hundreds of organizations around the world have been a big hit to help and treat people with cystic fibrosis. Brian Warnick is a 15-year-old boy with cystic fibrosis. His story is well known since OneRepublic, the rock band, made it viral with their one-hit song, I Lived. Not many of us know about different types of diseases out there, but having artists be a part and promoting the organization helped others stay informed about cystic fibrosis. Explanation. Brian Warnick advice for people with cystic fibrosis is simple. Don't give up on your dreams, no matter how big they are. As a student studying to be a nurse, this was a very interesting topic for me. As I was deciding what topic to use, my mind was blank with no ideas whatsoever. I reached out to my older sister, who is an RN, to give me ideas of diseases she might have seen while working at the hospital. Out of 5 topics she sent me, she stated that cystic fibrosis was the most dreadful disease ever. I took a look into it, and sure it was. Although it is a very deadly disease with many complications to it, it amazed me how many people stay positive with this disease. Of course, not all wish they had it, but they still managed to keep a smile on their faces. Most of us human beings would rather die when something goes wrong in our lives, yet we don't see what others are going through. After doing research on it, I now appreciate life a bit more and realize how blessed we truly are.